Okay, this video is going to be regarding this. Let me show you. You have this on, you're going to have problems on teacher meeting. So I'm going to do number one, you're going to do number two. I'm going to do number three, you're going to do number four. I'll do five, then you'll do six, seven, eight, and so on. Okay. Number one, it says out of 800 students, in recreation soccer program, 32% are sixth graders. How many students in the program are sixth graders? Okay, so basically they want to know how many students are sixth graders. Okay, so this will be like my white paper. You need to do an white paper. You put number one, uh, students that are in sixth grade. That's basically what they want. So it says out of 800, so I know that 800 will be the total. So there's 800 total students. Okay, it says out of 800. Then it says 32% are sixth graders. So they already told me that the percentage are sixth graders. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I create a proportion. So I'm going to set up a proportion. And I always like to start with my percent. So percent means out of 100. So I'm going to go 32 out of 100. And now these 32%, they already told you that they're sixth graders. So I'm going to say, you know what, you guys are sixth graders. If it's 32%, it means out of 100, I know that this would be the total. Very important that we label the stuff. This 32% is the sixth graders, 100 is the total. Now these 800 are what they gave us also, so it'll go on the bottom because it's also the total. So what we don't know is how many are sixth graders. We know that the 32% are sixth graders, but we want to know that quantity. So once you have your proportion ready, you just do your cross products that we've done before. 100 times x would be 100x. 800 times 32. So when you have zeros at the end, we can already put them at the end. 1, 2, and then just multiply the rest. 32 times 8, I'll have to go to the side. 25, 256. So right now it's 25,600. Now I need to solve for x so we can find out the sixth graders is the x that we're looking for. So we do the inverse. You can think of sat m. A number next to a letter means multiply. So if that means multiply, I'm going to do the inverse, which would be to divide by 100. What you do to one side, you do to the other. This cancels. You see these two zeros? I can drop 2 for 2. Makes the problem much easier. 256 divided by 1 would be 256. Now you know that there's 256 kids, the x, that are sixth graders. So the answer would be D. I go to my teacher mate, click on it, and that's it. The way I did number one, that's the way you're going to do number two. Okay, so the way I did number one, that's the way you'll do number two. The next one will be number three. Same method. Okay, so I'm going to go number three. Okay. 3. There are 450 students at the middle school. So if there's 450 students at the middle school, again, this would be my total. 90 of the students chose math, so I know that 90 like math. And then they want to know the percentage that chose math. So this time they want to know the percent that is math. So this is the question now. The percent, that's math. So basically, I'm going to set up my proportion again. Now they didn't give me the percent, but I know that percent means out of 100. Since they did not give me the percent, I'm going to have to call that x. This would be obviously the total, because percent is out of 100, that's the total. And then the x, which is the percent that we're looking for, would be the math. What's the percent that like math? This is the percent that we're finding. Okay, they did give me the total of 450, so that will be on the bottom. And they did give me that there's 90 math, so math goes on the top, 90 math. See, the most important thing is to label, guys. You need to label who is the total and what they're talking about. In this case, they want the percent, that's the x. That's the question, they want the percentage. See, what percentage? Right there. So once you have this, I like to always begin with the one with the x. So 450x, then 90 times 100. Again, I can count the trailing zeros 1, 2, 3. So I can just put them there 1, 2, 3. And then 9 times 1 would be 9, so it's 9,000. SAT-M tells me to divide. The inverse of multiply is to divide, so I'm going to divide. That cancels, divide the other side also. Those 1 for 1 right there, I can get rid of 1. No, the problem is 900 divided by 45. I'm going to bottom out. 900 divided by 45. You're a calculator kid, you just punch it in. Right there, I'll put my decimal in case there's decimals. And I start. Not enough. 45 times what? Well, I can go and try on the side. 45 times whatever you think. I know it's going to be 2. Because that would be giving me 90. So this guy becomes 290. Now it's important that you still haven't worked with this 0. So we need to drop them down and ask yourself. So here would be 20. If you forget about that 0, you're going to choose the 2% when it's actually 20% would be the final answer, because x would be 20 and that is the percent, so it would be 20%. The way I did number 3, that's the way you're going to do number 4. Same problem. So read carefully and make sure that you label. The next one is going to be number 5. So number 5, same system. Let me choose another color, purple. Number 5, 75% of students play video games regularly. So they already told you that this are the ones that play regularly. So 75% play on a regular basis. 18 students play regularly. So they also told you that 18 of them play regularly. So the labeling is so important, the reading is so important. It's dealing with percentage of something, so I'm going to go ahead and go with my proportion again. This time they did give me the percent, so I'm going to go 75. Percent always is out of 100. Label, this guy would be the total. And this is the ones that play regularly, so I'm going to put regular. They play. Now the 18 also is play regularly, so he will go on the top. And we need the total of students. How many students are in the class? That would be the total of the students. So that would be my x. Same thing, 75 times x. We'll take care of that part, 75x. 18 times 100. Again, when there's zeros at the end, which since it's percent problems, it's always going to have zeros at the end, because percent means out of 100. So that would be 1800, 1800 divided by 75. What you do to one side, you do to the other, divided by 75. Cancels x. This time I don't have zeros to cancel, so too bad. I'm going to have to divide the whole thing. 1800 divided by 75. I go one digit at a time, not enough. Another digit, still not enough. 180, it's time to guess on the side. So I'm going to take a guess and think it's 4. Let's see what happens. That's 20, 28, 30. I went way over. So let me try 2. 150, that's better. Let me try 3 just in case. I know it's not 3, but just so you can see that it's okay to. This is called guessing check. The best one would be 2. So times 2 would be 150. Bring it down. I'm going to guess again, which I already have it here. There's no need for me to guess. It will be 4. So I know that the total students in the classroom is 24. So out of those 24, 18 of them play regularly. There's a total of 24 and 18 of them play regularly. That's how we get 75%. Now it's important that when we punch it in, we're going to punch it in as positive 24.00. Punch it in that way. If we get something like this with a fixed decimal, that means we have to put it here 24.00, and of course you will have to choose that it's positive. Okay. The way they did number 5, that's the way you can do number 6. Please make sure that you always label and read carefully. Okay. We have number 7 now. Same system. The key is to read carefully. Okay. 7. Kylie made 18% of her free throws, so I know that 18% in this problem is what she made. Based on this information, which is the best prediction of the number of free throws she would make out of 50? You see that out of 50 is the total. So she tried 50. This would be the total that she tried. So here we go, proportion again. 18%, it's 18 out of 100. Label, the 100 would be the total. The 18 is what she made. The 50 is the total because that's what she tried. Out of 50 means the total. This guy would be the x. And we start again, 100 times x, 100x. 50 times 18. There's a 0 at the end. I can put it already. Just multiply the rest on the side. 18 times 5. That would be 40. 90, which would be really 900. Divided by 100. What you do to one side, do to the other. Divided by 100. Nice is 2 for 2. 9 divided by 1 would be 9x equals 9. So what we're saying that if she tries 50 only, she'll make 9. And it makes sense. Think about it. 100 half is 50. 18 half would be 9. So I feel very comfortable that I am correct. Guys, the main thing is to read carefully and label. We need to label so we can know who goes where. If now you'll have trouble with this assignment. The next one is number 9 and 10. These are the tougher ones because you have to read statements, but they all work the same way. They're going to work the same way. Okay, so number 9, I'm going to read. In a student poll, 38 boys and 42 girls. So we already know that there's boys and girls. 15 boys and 20 girls said that they like science based information. So if you notice, all of them, they don't specify if you're a boy or girl. They just want to know students. If you notice, students, 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 students. Because of that, I'm going to have to combine them. So I'm going to go 38 and 42, 10, 7, 8. So there's 80 students. So this would be my total. Now 15 and 20 like science, so I'm going to go to the side over here also. 15 and 20. That's 35 students. But these are the ones that like science. So if you notice, I have to read, guys. I can't just start putting numbers however the heck I want. I need to read. So if you notice, all the choices are dealing with percent, so I know it's going to be a proportion again. I want to set up a proportion. And it's out of 100. I do not know the percent because that's why the choices are the percent. So I'm going to call them X. This would be the total. And here we go. 80 is the total of students. And 35 is the ones that like science. So I know now that this would be the science kids. And then we start again. 100 times 35, 80 times x. So let me start with 80 times x. 80 times x would be 80x. 100 times 35. Again, we have some zeros at the end, so that's pretty cool. We just add them. 35 times 1 would be 35. It would be 3,500. Divided by 80. Cancel. Divided by 80. X equals, this cancels. 350 divided by 8. Bottom out. 350 divided by 8. Put your decimal at the end. And not enough. Times 4 will be 32. 30 times 6, I believe, or times 3, I'm sorry. Times 3 would be 24. Add a 0. Times 7 would be 56. Add a 0. So it's 43.75% because x is out of 100. You notice here x. So I know this one is going to be 43.75%. Okay. So more than 50, like, nope. Between 35 and 40, nope. Between 40 and 45, yeah, this would be between 40 and 45. 43.75 would be in between. That's the answer. The way I did number 9, you will do number 10 by yourself. Finally, we have 11 and 12. It says Nate surveyed 80 students in the high school. The shaded squares in the grid represent 35% of students who said that they walked to school. How many students said that they walked? Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to get my pen, my pink pen. I don't know why I choose pink, but so we have 80 students, and those are at the school, so that would be the total. Very important to identify the total as quick as you can, and that'll make things easier. 35%. Let's see what they do. 35% of the students who said that they walk to school, so these are the ones that are walkers. They walk. And my question, they do want the ones that walk. So that's good. We have all the information. So here we go. I'm going to set my proportion again. 35 out of 100, because percent means out of 100. This would be the total. The 35% are the walkers. So I'm going to say walk. The 80 students is the total, so they go on the bottom because they go with total. And then we want to know how many walk. That's why the x becomes the walk. 100 times x would be 100x. 80 times 35. I go to the side. There's a 0 there at the end. I'll put it already. And just take care of the 35 times 8. 24, 28, 280. Which would be 2,800. Divided by 100. That cancels. Divided by 100. These two cancel each other. 28 divided by 1. X equals 28. So the 28 is the x. And those are the walkers. So they want to know how many are walking to school. That would be B, 28. The way the number 11, that's the way you do number 12. I need for y'all to be responsible with your work, please. Because even though I'm not there, at the end of the day, I need to trust you that you're going to be doing your work. Okay? Hopefully this lesson helps you, and I'm going to see if I can record throughout some more lessons for you.